Good morning. I am Sister Miriam Elizabeth, a novice sister with the Order of St. Helena in Augusta, Georgia. We are an Episcopal monastic order for women, and I am here today at the invitation of Father Tim. Glad to be with you. Sarita, Texas is a hard place to live. South of Corpus Christi, which you may know, and about 20 miles in from the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, Sarita is the beginning of the southwestern desert that continues across Texas and New Mexico, Arizona, and into California. Sarita is the beginning. It has an elementary school, a post office, a taco shack, and a lot of mesquite and cactus. If you blink, you miss it. Of course, you'll never miss the mesquite and cactus because it goes on for miles and miles and miles. But Sarita, you might miss. My friend Kelly ran a retreat center there for over 45 years, believing that God had called him to that place, had spoken to his heart saying, "Seek my face in this place, right here, with these people." And Kelly stepped forward, seeking the face of God in every step, lighting the way for others who came seeking the face of God. It was a journey he gave his entire self to. A place that marinated his soul in the desert heat. A time of practicing call and response with God as he built up the center, celebrated a daily Eucharist, and prayed with those who came over and over and over for a word of wisdom. "Seek my face," said God. And my friend Kelly said, on his knees and on the trails of the desert, "Your face, O God, I seek." As Christians, we're a call and response people. It's who we are. God calls and we respond. And we come from a people of call and response. God called Abram and Sarai. And after a little kibitzing back and forth between themselves and between them and God, they packed up their camels. They responded. They moved across the desert, across the land, to a new land. They became Abraham and Sarah and served as ancestors to great nations. God called Moses to lead the people to freedom and to new life. And after turning down that offer no less than 5 times, Moses finally responded, stepped up to the plate, and led the people across that desert to the Jordan River, to the very edge of the promised land. He argued with his people, and he went to bat for them with God. And he argued with God, and he continued to lead the people. God called, "Seek my face." And Moses responded, "Your face, O God, I seek." God called each of the prophets, each of the disciples. Jesus said, "Follow me." We heard that today in the gospel. And they set down their nets and followed him, seeking the face of God. Like Abraham and Sarah, like Moses, like the prophets, like the disciples, we are seekers of the divine face. We follow a God who calls and says, "Seek my face." And we seek. We cry out, "We seek your face, O God." It is the practice of our lives as Christian people. And there are moments. Those moments when we catch a glimpse, sometimes just the tiniest of glimpses. We catch a glimpse of that holy face rounding the corner, or even leading the way, or stepping out from the shadows. It can happen in that moment when we greet the new baby and fall in love with fingers and toes and a little tiny nose and a little Cupid's bow right here. It can happen when someone of recent sobriety realizes they've just had the time of their life with their friends without a drink anywhere in sight. It can happen when we decide that the one we love today is the one we will love forever. It can happen when a sister receives her habit for the first time and realizes her clothes fit for the first time in her whole life. Somewhere in the middle of the calling and the responding, in the wake of speaking and seeking, we come face to face with God. And we catch a glimpse not only of God, but of ourselves. It is the moment of Epiphany, the manifestation of the Divine One in our midst, the presence of Emmanuel, God with us. It is the recognition of our own face, our own self, our own soul in the face of God. And in that moment, faith and hope, steadfastness, courage, resilience. In that moment, all of that is nurtured and held. So that when the trail turns, and we all know that it surely will, when the trail turns, when the shadows overtake us, we are overwhelmed with uncertainty, fear, grief, heartbreak. When we can no longer see even the very next step for the darkness that covers our soul. It is then that such faith and hope and courage carry us. And God cries to us in our darkness, "I am here. I am here. Seek my face." And the choice is always before us. Now, I don't know about you, but in situations like that, I can look a little bit sloppy. And my face is often wet with tears when I step forward and seek from that place of darkness. I may follow a little bit more hesitantly, taking smaller steps than I would have ordinarily. I may even get turned around with my own dizziness. I may need to just set a spell before I take another step. But the choice is always before us. Seeking the face of God, following Jesus. It's about choosing life, friends. It's about choosing life. It's about stepping into the way of love. Even when the next step may not look like love to anybody else. It's about choosing life, even when we can't see the very next footprint in the path. Even when the face of God is hidden before our eyes. We are created as lovers of God, lovers of one another, to choose life, to seek the face of God at each step in the journey, even when the trail turns, even in the darkest of darkness. Last fall, my friend Kelly, the one who ran the retreat center, he was out walking in the desert, and he fell and broke his hip and broke his leg in several places. And while they repaired it, his leg will never be functional again. It will never hold his weight. And he will never walk those desert trails again, ever. And a view of deer playing in the mesquite trees has given way to a wall and a window of sky speared by a city skyline hours away from Cerrito. And from his own darkness, Kelly seeks the face of God. He recently told a mutual friend, as he gestured out into the hallway of the nursing home where he lives now, he said, God is no longer at the retreat center for me. He never will be again. God is here for me. I must seek him here. I have ministry to do here. And I have plenty of time to pray. And there are many who need the prayers of God here. God calls and says, seek my face. Follow me. And from the practice of a lifetime of following and seeking, we step up. We respond. We follow. Your face, O God, we seek. Blessed be the name of God.